The great American general Smedley Butler once said, "War is a racket." And Iraq was definitely a racket. And the American troops were not in on it. The American troops had to scrape and scrap for everything, while other guys were getting rich, while companies like Halliburton were getting no-bid contracts.
Private companies made an estimated $140 billion from the conflict, securing lucrative contracts in private security, reconstruction, and oil production.
Try to get him out there.
War shouldn't be about profit. War should be a last resort, and it should be something that we try to end as quickly as possible. It shouldn't be a bonanza for scumbags to come in and get rich, and that's what we saw. We saw scumbags and grifters come in and get rich off Iraq while we lost our legs and our friends. So that cuts to maybe the most outrageous part of America's involvement in Iraq and Afghanistan, is that some people gave everything, and others got rich. They want the war to go on so they can make more money and buy champagne. That cuts to the core of how unequal it was and how dangerous it was for our national security to have the profit motive introduced on a level we'd never seen before.
Major American combat operations in Iraq eventually wound down in December 2011. The war cost taxpayers an estimated $2 trillion. But the cost to Americans went way beyond the dollars spent.
Approximately 4,500 U.S. service members would be killed in action. Tens of thousands would come home injured, some of them gravely, missing limbs, suffering from traumatic brain injuries, racked by post-traumatic stress.
We're really good at sending people to war, and we're really good at paying to send people to war. We're really bad at bringing people home and taking care of them once they get back. Guys like Paul Wolfowitz and Don Rumsfeld said, you go to war with the army you have. That's right, and then you come home to the VA you have. And when I went to war with the army we had, I came home to the VA we had, which was a VA that didn't know how to take care of women, didn't know how to treat post-traumatic stress disorder, didn't know about roadside bombs, didn't know about ear injuries and the other kinds of wounds we were facing. And already we've lost more people to suicide than we've lost on the ground in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we will lose many more in the decades to come.
In the vacuum left by the removal of Saddam's regime and the end of a major U.S. military presence, extremism flourished, and many more lives would be lost.
So you get ISIS after about 10 or 11 years of the crisis caused by the U.S. invasion of Iraq, and ISIS is a real threat to regional stability.
The fight against ISIS has claimed tens of thousands more Iraqi lives, with millions losing their homes and way of life. But it has done something else, kept the business of war going.
This has been produced by supposedly the attempt to make the world safe with U.S. military means, but it produces insecurity, and then that insecurity justifies more of the same military intervention and spending.
This is what happens when there is a shadow agenda, a shadow America that benefits one group of people at the expense of the greater good. All they need is for you not to pay attention. All they need is for you not to know where America's sons and daughters are dying, or how much money they spend on a weapon system, or where they're deploying troops. They hope you don't pay attention. If you don't pay attention, that's how this happens. That's how billions of dollars are spent. That's how cities are left vulnerable. That's how pandemics spread.
And so it's maybe a time for us to rethink about what makes us safe and what really endangers us.